welcome back to Arts and Casts. Today I'm going to show you a quick and easy tutorial on how I make these crochet beanies, and we're going to jump right into it. For materials, you are going to need your chosen yarn. I personally go with a thicker, comfier yarn compared to, as you can see, my acrylic. You're also going to need the appropriate yarn hook, a measuring tape, scissors, and some kind of needle to sew in your ends. We are going to start with a slip knot. To do that, I hold my thumb on my second finger, go around. As you can see, one is in front, one is behind. Taking my hook, I'm going to go under the first string, over the second string, pull my fingers out while holding these two strings, and then pull those closed. You've created your slip knot. To start off, we are going to be making a chain that is 12 inches long, as this is going to be the length of your hat, including the brim. So I'm going to start by building up my chains. I'm going to make about 30 or 40, and then I'll come back to you to make sure that our measurements are correct. And double check. So that's actually a little bit too long. Perfect. Once you're ready to go, to keep the length, you're going to chain one. And now we are just going to be simply working single crochets all the way along this chain. So to do that, we just go through, pull the yarn, and pull both through, in, through, pull both through. And you're simply just going to work those chains all the way along until we meet down on the other side. And as we are coming up here on the end of our row, we are going to work these single crochets all the way down. See this final chain through there? In order to keep the sides straight, you're going to chain one, turn over your work, and start working those single crochets right into that first one. So through that first chain, single crochet, and we just start to build all the way back to the other side. And once again, as we are coming up to our final chain, you are going to do one single crochet into that final one, chain one, and we're ready to start working our way back. The one thing you're going to want to make sure is that the chains that you made in the beginning are still the number of chains that you are building. You should be working your single crochets all the way down to the end of the row, making one chain, and that should start to create these straight lines on the end here. It is good to just keep track that you are doing the same number of chains that you began. I'm going to work up a couple more rows with you guys. So once again, we have just chained one. And now right into this first chain, we are going to start single crocheting all the way back. As you can see, we are just going to continue this pattern, and we are actually going to be continuing this exact same back and forth row until this can wrap this way completely around your head. So we obviously have a lot more to go. We're just going to continue to work our single crochets all the way along our third row. Coming to the end of our third row, once again, we are going to single crochet into that corner, chain one, flip our work, and we're ready. So I'm just going to go away and work up a couple rows, and I will come back when we are about halfway through. And this is what we should be looking. Again, we are going to continue to grow this out until this edge can wrap around our head. So I'm going to come back when that is fully ready. Fitting on the head, since we're going to be doing a brim, fold this over, and then I take this around my head. You're going to want to stretch it out a little bit because crochet stitches stretch over time anyway. So give it a little stretch, make sure it can completely reach around your head. This is looking perfect. And once that is done, I'm going to jump right into how we make this look like a beanie. When tying it off, you're going to want to leave a very good amount of string. This is what we're going to use to tie on. Obviously, we're going to start with where the string is coming out of. You're going to fold it over, and we're going to be connecting these two ends together like this. And we're going to be doing this in two parts. So in this first part, you're going to want to figure out which side you want to be the inside. We're starting with the inside of the beanie. So figure that out, flip it inside out, starting with our string, taking your hook through the other end, grabbing the other string, and pulling that together to create a loop. And now we are simply going to work slip stitches all the way up. We are first just doing the slip stitches for our brim. So that's going to be about 8 to 10 roughly, depending on how many stitches you have. We've hooked the first one into this second loop. We're going to go through both sides, pull that yarn through both of these loops, and we just work that all the way up, grabbing this, going through and pulling that through as well. And now that I'm happy with the brim that I've made, I have taken my hook out, made a big loop so it doesn't come loose. Then we're just going to flip this inside out, like so. Once that's all flipped over, now we are just going to continue doing these slip stitches all the way to the top. Now I have attached the other side of the string to my needle, and we're basically going to be weaving the string in and out all the way around. You want to keep them pretty close together so there's no weird holes. And now we are simply going to pull this tight to start looking something like this. No matter how hard you pull, there will always be a hole in the middle. So I'm going to show you how I finish that off and fix that. Flip it around one more time so it's inside out. And while making sure this is still nice and tight, we are now going to start sewing to the different sides. Then I'll go back, basically trying to connect this part and close up that hole as best as possible. Honestly, I'm not very particular about tying it off when it's on the inside of the hat. So all I'm gonna do is tie these two strings together a bunch of times to make sure that it's not going anywhere. It's like 6 knots. And then I just cut it close. And just like that, guys, we're gonna flip this the right way out, fold our brim up, and just like that, we have our fully finished beanie. And personally, I think we did an amazing job. That really didn't take too long either. I'd say maximum for me 3 hours, obviously depending on where you are in your crochet journey, that'll be different, but overall a very easy project and a very cute end result. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned as I show you in my next video how to turn these beanies into bunny hats, and comment down below if there's any other cool creations you would like to see me make. And until next time, peace.